Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories or the news that we hear. So my question would be, if they were deceiving you with the stories they tell you, would you be able to recognize that?
I got to tell you, B, the sound guy, he's starting to suck lately, man.
Are
And
you telling me? You're preaching to the choir here.
yeah, he is. He's starting to suck. But anyways, hey everybody, welcome to special Thursday of the way we see it. It's we are all pawns, part two. I mean, B, you don't own nothing. Yeah, you sit in your house, you buy your house, you pay your mortgage, you own your home for 40 years. Hopefully by that time, everything, went well enough to where you own it, but you think you own it, but you don't own it. Because there's one thing that, the government continues to screw the American people is they own the land. So, and if you don't pay the taxes on the land, then they can take your house. Right? You don't pay
Well,
your taxes on
hey,
you don't pay taxes on your car. They take your car. Okay? You don't own anything, B.
well, that's if you have the car registered. You can own a car, and there's no taxes on it just by having it. Put a license plate on it. Now you're paying taxes on it.
Yeah, but B, if you lose the land that you have the car on that you think that you own, then they're gonna take that car.
Remember in the Bible, the book of Job, naked
No,
I
I
came
can't
from the
say
womb,
that.
naked I go back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all of these things that we have are just that. They are things, and they're very
Right,
nice.
right,
It's
right,
nice to have known the joy of having this or that or whatever. But
right.
nobody goes out from this
B,
I don't know,
there's
realm of
B,
life.
there's literally people out there that don't fucking lift a finger to do nothing because they got that kind of money, and that's called you,
Privilege.
you people are fucking like rude and driving me fucking crazy tonight, man. There's no smiling here. This is bullshit. Y'all fucking done? Sorry about all that noise, ladies and gentlemen. Um, yeah. My point I'm making is you don't own anything. It doesn't matter. It's you and I, and we all work. Okay, like the ants. You know what I mean? The ants, work for the queen. Okay, or the king or whatever, and that's
They have some
all.
sort of purpose. They work towards some sort of reason.
Yeah, what fucking purpose are we working for, B?
The progression of our lives.
Hmm. Yeah.
I have a purpose of putting food on my table and the comforts of the home, the lighting, the heat.
Yeah, but back in the centuries, though, B, you had to have permission to hunt on the king's land. You know,
Well,
you got arrested if you killed any animals on the king's land, right? I mean, I can't go over to fucking Farmer Joe's right now and kill a fucking cow and drag it home, right? I'd be stealing or whatever the charge
well,
would be,
if it belongs to him, that's his.
you know.
You want to kill something, bring it home. I got plenty of skunks in the neighborhood.
Hey, look, I'm just being real. I mean, we're pawns, man. It's at
And for those of you listening at home who are not from New England, pawns, PAWNS, not PORNS. Okay? Thank you. All right.
tough one. Hey, I would call and debate that 508 I'm telling you. Nah, man, you don't think so? I mean,
Well, I'll tell you what we've got going on over here in our area. And again, we're in New Hampshire, one state in the nation and so forth. But they say live free or die.
yeah, that's
And
the
here
motto. Yep.
in the town of Epping, New Hampshire, they had an initiative which went through, and it should never have been on a ballot. It should never have been a consideration. Where the vast majority of the town of Epping has private well, private septic system. They have a water and sewer enterprise that services pretty much the center of town area and so forth. And they've been working on expanding it, yes, but it'll never completely service the entire town of Epping. So there are a lot of people that have private well, private sewer, and if we have a private well, private sewer, private septic system, and if something happens to our septic system or something happens to our well, we have to pony up to pay to whatever. Well, they put forth an initiative because there are some expansions and improvements that need to be done and upgrades, and the Water and Sewer Enterprise Fund has been woefully mismanaged for decades. So now they found themselves millions and millions of dollars in the red. So they said, well, we can either do that. We're going to put an initiative on and vote so that it gets put out throughout the entire tax base. So all of the people who never had any water service and sewer service are now paying to upgrade and improve water service and sewer service, and they will never receive any benefit whatsoever of it. You can argue, oh, well, the town hall receives water service and sewer service, and the town hall serves you, so you're benefiting. My ass. Okay? That's horseshit in plain English. I only said two words, and only one wasn't the caca word. Horse shit. This should never have happened. We should have people who are already burdened or overburdened with their taxes, and they keep going up higher and higher and higher, paying for things that they have nothing to deal with. It's like, Blazeman, it's like me going to you and saying, open up your wallet and give me $45 because the guy down the street from me wants to fill his gas tank. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, unfortunately. you know. But so where's your tax dollars going then?
Most of it's, believe it or not, most of it, the lion's share of it is going to the damn school system.
Okay.
Another woefully mismanaged. It's not tax and spend, it's tax and squalor or squander. Tax and squander is what is going on.
Right. Well, again, it gets back to where, well, like I said, man, pawns, man. Pawns. You're not getting what they promised you, right?
We're not pawns, we're pigeons.
Look,
we're getting plucked, buddy.
But I'm trying to tell you something, though. Everybody. Look, the thing here is that everybody. Oh, you vote. You got to vote. You got to vote. You do. You do have to vote, right? But the government doesn't ask you to fucking vote on like things, right? Okay, so I get it. You know what I mean? That's why you have your congressmen and stuff like that. You vote them in to do all the fucking talking for you, right? So it's just a never-ending thing. Even though I voted you in, B, when you get in there, you're gonna do what's best for you. Yeah, you're gonna want.
No.
You're gonna
I ever
B. I'm not using you as specific, B. Okay, all right. I'm not. You're not. This is not for real. It's a character. So you're the congressman or whatever, and again, you're in there and you're gonna do what's best for you, but you're gonna make your constituents happy. You're gonna throw them a fucking bone here and there so you can continue to be their hero. All right, and in the long term, Nothing's getting done at all. Okay? You don't own shit. You don't own shit. And you work and you hope to have a good life where that's gone now. Okay? The American dream is fucking gone. All right? It's just, again, you just continue to work. Even like your retirement, right? Why do they keep raising the retirement age?
To keep as many people working and paying into the system, which and while they're doing that, taking the money
That
and
and they
giving
hope
all the handouts as entitlements
that
for
and
the
they
new
hope you
American
croak.
dream. Go to America and go
Okay?
on welfare.
All
That's
right?
the new American dream.
Like I said, they hope you croak first so they don't have to pay you shit. You know what I mean? And like you said, yeah, okay, you can early retire. Man, you lose about 35% of what you worked for your whole entire life if you retire early. You know what I mean? I know that's around the right number here in Massachusetts. I don't know. It could be higher, for all I know. But that's the deal. Again, we own nothing. You grow up, you go to school, you go to work, and like I said, it's like the army ants. You know what I mean? They go out and there's all the workers, millions and trillions of them, all the workers to come back and to serve. Again, maybe the 1%, shit like that. The filthy fucking rich. NWO, B. NWO.
I have no
Right?
idea what that is.
New World Order.
Oh, the New World Order, yeah.
We've
been hearing we heard that back in the 40s.
Well, hey,
the New World Order, a new neighbor.
Listen, in the late 40s and the early 50s, man. I mean, everybody was a commie in this country. You know what I mean? It was like, they
not everybody was.
Hollywood was famous for communists. Number one. But
look at Lucille Ball's hair. Why do you think she dyed it red?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my boy can be fresh. But listen, I got a tidbit for everybody, right? Let me see if I got my scrutins here and brains, which I don't have any. And do this correctly. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I've been wicked lazy. Holidays, all that stuff like that. B and I made sure we took plenty of time off for the families before we get back into all this craziness. And then in the meantime, they updated our whole system. So now this is a whole system that I'm working through. So please bear with me here. All right, here we go. I got you. Shit. I don't like when they put it like this. B, talk to the audience.
Okay,
please.
Sure. Some of you may notice that the name side over here on the screen says Jimmy Crackhorn, and I put it over there because I don't care. Jimmy Crackhorn, I don't care. At 60 years old, you would think the things that are happening. They say inside a person's ear, there's all these little hairs called cilia that go back and forth.
Well, man, why are you attacking somebody black?
I'm sorry, B.
People listening to it, and this is how you're hearing. Okay, well, and as time goes on, your hearing goes less and less and less. How the hell does that happen? How does it happen? I'm getting more and more hair on my ears, but my hearing's getting worse. I should be getting better hearing.
Well, you should be. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't that be nice?
That'd be great. But read the caption, B.
Judge Joe Brown exposes Obama.
This is pretty cool, B. Wait until you see.
All right, let's have a look at Judge Joe Brown.
Yeah, we can discuss this shit. No problem.
Rock the Wonder Schmuck.
All right.
Well, man, why are you attacking somebody black? I said, black people didn't put this up. They didn't have anything to do with this. I heard them planning.
The Obama administration did.
Well, that's it. Obama, what did he do for the black race? Nothing. Question you might ask, who's the richest man to ever be U.S. president? It's not Trump.
No.
It's Barack Obama. You know how? His adopted father, Lolo Soetoro, was one of the 10, 15 richest men on earth. And when he died, he left a trust fund in Indonesia with 3 equal beneficiaries. Barack Obama, then known as Barry Soetoro because he was adopted, and his 2 siblings. So he has a whole false claim about what his background is. But when he got in the White House, he'd been working for a law firm that represented his daddy. He got lauded by Goldman Sachs, who financed most of his daddy's American investments. He protected British Petroleum when they had the blowout in the Gulf because guess what? His trust fund had heavy investments in BP. So we get through this whole mantra, and even affordable care. Obamacare, you know who drafted it? Senior Tennessee Republican Senator Dr. Bill Frist when he was Republican Senate Majority Leader. Why? His family founded Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and most of the HMOs. His family's making a killing. So he retired from the Senate in 2010 when the Obama administration got passed his drafted act from 2003. It's his game. And I don't have any problem with Trump either. I'm looking at lowest black unemployment rate since Lyndon Baines Johnson, more money to historically black colleges and universities at any time since Lyndon Baines Johnson. I mean, more Americans back to work. You know, like, what did you get for the last 3? Oh, and then this. You know that joke that they do about George W. Bush feeding Michelle candy? The inside thing on that is it's the same candy he fed her husband when he was 6, 7 years old. See, the Soetoros in the Bushes go back 40 some years.
I have no idea what that's all about.
What do you mean you have no idea what that's all about?
About feeding candy? What?
Yeah, there was a fucking I don't know, they were at like an event or whatever. I mean, this is very simple what he's talking about. I think it was an event or whatever, and someone picked up that Bush senior was giving Michelle Obama fucking candy or whatever. You know what I mean? And
So
he is saying that that's the same candy because they made a joke about it. You know what I mean? Ha ha ha! Ha, look at fucking Bush trying to give Michelle candy. You know? You get it, B?
no, I don't.
Oh boy! All right. Well,
I'm missing it.
B don't get it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know.
And how old are you, Ann Hartford? Well, one of our wonderful fans, all the way down in Florida, probably freezing as much as we are up here.
Yeah, she said waving. Hi guys, hands pink, waving. So does she? Yeah, it's probably cold. It's probably cold there. Oh well, I don't feel bad. You know, because what in about 2 months it's going to be the average temperature is going to be like about 70.
Yeah. Biden. Oh yeah, jeez.
Biden.
Talk about someone who's really biding their time. And talk about scorched earth. Everybody thinks that California's got scorched earth. The rest of the freaking country is being scorched earth by everything that Biden, that doddering old fool, is doing.
Yeah, it's pretty bad down there, man.
Unbelievable.
It is.
People that are in California, please believe me when I say my heart feels for them. I'm not an inhuman monster, but you know what? They deserve what they got because they were told not to do all of the building and expansion and everything else that they did. And they were told for years and years and years and years and years that what they were doing was building themselves into a firestorm, and nobody wanted to believe it. Nobody wanted to listen. And this is what they got.
I'm with you, B.
They made their own bed. Now they got to lie in it.
Right? I got a little line here on live video here. Let me throw it up there.
Look, got some marshmallows to go with it?
Those who have been impacted. Again, the priority of all Angelenos remains to stay safe and to follow directions from public safety officials. I was at the command post for the Palisades fire with Governor Newsom and other federal partners earlier today, and we talked about strategies to provide relief. First, I just got off the phone with President Biden, and right before this press conference, I also spoke to Vice President Harris earlier today. Earlier today, the president announced the federal government would pay for 100% of disaster response costs from the wildfires in this area. This is unprecedented because usually it is not 100%.
Well, he doesn't give a fuck. He's leaving anyway.
Chris Wall will discuss.
Yeah, where's the money
new
coming from? He
resources
doesn't
are
care.
also available for impacted Angelenos to recover from this emergency. So thank you, FEMA administrator, for being here today and for your continued partnership on behalf of the White House.
You got some Hollywood stars that lost their homes, B, so shit's going to get done pretty quick.
Post in coordination with the County of LA, we have requested the National Guard, along with the sheriff and the county, has implemented a curfew in all burn areas. And actually, let me correct that and say that the county is looking at a curfew, but has not implemented it yet. In Los Angeles, we have had evacuation orders in place in the Palisades and in Sylmar. Those evacuation orders have the force of a curfew, meaning you must leave and you cannot come back into the area, period. 24 hours a day. We have to protect the area, especially from those properties that remain. I've joined the sheriff in inviting the National Guard to take on non-emergency roles and provide us with resources to keep the burn area secure so that our frontline firefighters and police officers can focus on saving lives. So let me be clear. There's going to be zero tolerance for anybody that would be, I don't even know how to say this, but that would dare to enter houses or loot property or anything from the individuals or from structures that remain standing. I was with D.A. Hochman this morning, and he made it very clear that if anybody is involved in looting or any property damage, that he is ready to prosecute to the full extent of the law. So my team is in coordination with the Adjutant General who heads the National Guard, and I've spoken with the governor about the National Guard to take on specifically non-emergency roles to free up our firefighters and officers to do the life-saving work that they do in the city so that we are sure to have enough resources to surge our first responders so that they can focus on the life-saving work.
She is saying.
Third, we're already looking ahead to aggressively rebuild. The city of Los Angeles will lead in this effort in the areas that are impacted by the city. We are going to clear the red tape and unnecessary delays and cost and headaches that people experience in ordinary times so that we can rebuild your homes quickly. We're going to clear the way to rapidly rebuild our neighborhood infrastructure, which means roads, sidewalks, street lights, and utilities. We will clear the way to rebuild and open our small businesses.
Listen up. Here's what a fresh start can sound like in 2025. Look forward to
by turning away from the usual city system and moving forward in a new direction.
Get that quick commercial
LA has to be strong, united. We will reject those who seek in this emergency, when lives are at stake and lives have been lost. We will reject those who seek to divide us and seek to misinform, because as evidenced by the leadership standing here today, we will be united. We will rebuild our city, and we will do whatever is necessary to get us past this crisis. And we can do that by being united. So let me just introduce our FEMA administrator. And I really want to thank her for coming here from Washington, D.C., obviously on very short notice, Deanne Criswell.
Thank you, Mayor Bass. First, I would just like to start by saying on behalf of President Biden, Vice President Harris, and the entire Biden-Harris administration, our hearts go out to everybody who has been impacted by this truly tragic event.
So.
And I think as you heard Mayor Bass lay out her really aggressive vision for how you're going to rebuild, I just want you to know, Mayor, that we are going to be here with you along the way to help you rebuild in a way that makes you stronger and more resilient. As the firefighters continue to bring in resources and support the suppression efforts for these fires, with the major disaster declaration, we now have the ability to begin having those conversations about recovery, as well as help the individuals who have lost everything on jumpstart their road to recovery. If you live in Los Angeles County and you have been impacted by this disaster, you can register for FEMA assistance. You can go to disasterassistance.gov. That's the best way to get into our system and start that process. You should also contact your insurance company because we will need that information as well as we start to work with you on your claim. Some of the things that you're going to be eligible for: if you incurred costs for temporary lodging as you evacuated, if you're going to need longer term lodging because you're displaced from your home for a period of time, if you need repairs to your home, we have some financial assistance that can help there. If you lost other things like a vehicle, we have some financial assistance. We know that everybody's situation is going to be different for each person. It's going to be unique to them. We want to be able to work with each of you individually to help you on that road to recovery, help you get to the right resources, whether it's FEMA resources, complementing what your insurance company may provide, or bringing in our nonprofit partners to help make sure that we have a holistic recovery for everybody that's been impacted. But we'll also work with you, Mayor, for things like temporary schools, temporary road repair if you need that, all these temporary measures that are going to be needed to help stabilize the community as you start to rebuild, and especially with the debris removal. And as President Biden announced, we're going to cover that debris removal and all of your emergency protective measures at 100% for 180 days, because we know it's going to take a long time to get that debris removal out. I think what I'll just say in closing here is we know that recovery is complicated, and for something as catastrophic as what I have seen so far here across Los Angeles, we know that this recovery is going to be complicated. But it is doable when we all come together with the city, the state, the federal government, our nonprofit partners. When we work together, as you can see behind us here, anything is possible, and we will help you rebuild in a way that makes you stronger, Mayor.
Let me introduce now. First of all, let me just say that the President Biden and Vice President Harris just could not have been more supportive. And various members of the cabinet.
Get your fucking heads out of their asses. Jesus, that's what they're supposed to do.
Biden and Harris. Well,
Mayor,
they could
thank you. Thank you for bringing us all together, and thank you for your leadership. I want to begin also by acknowledging those that have lost their lives and lost their homes. I was on the phone much of the early part of the day talking to people that lost everything, and for so many, because of the nature of these fires, they not only lost their home, they lost their whole neighborhood, they lost their whole community, they lost their school and their place of worship.
Let's find something.
It's all gone.
This is all horseshit.
And I just want to express
these people got what they deserved.
I don't think anybody deserves to, get fucking burnt.
They were warned and warned and warned and warned and warned and warned not to build out like this. They were warned that their infrastructure was lacking. They were warned they didn't have enough water to support things. They were warned of the weather patterns, and even talking about climate change or whatever the hell they want to call it today. They were warned, and all of these people ignored it.
You're right, B. I can't argue with you there.
They chose to live there. This is what they got.
Yeah. All right, B. We're going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be, B and I will be back in about 3 minutes or so, all right? So hang in there and stick around for more of a special, The Way We See It. We are all pawns, ladies and gentlemen, part 2.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. A special report we're going on here. Breaking. We are all pawns. I got a quick question for you, Mr. Blazeman. If I could ask this. While everybody's eyes are focused on what's burning out in California and all the terrible things that are happening over there, what is going on in Washington and what is going on in Israel? What is going on in Ukraine?
Well, again, crazy conspiracy theory guy over here sometimes. Or if the fucking wildfires are diversion, because you're not hearing any news coming out of there right now at all, right?
Nothing. And by the way, every time somebody's eyes are focused on what's going on out in California, nobody is watching what other crazy thing Biden is doing.
I'm listening.
What else? What else? What else is happening? Does anybody know? Oh well, he sat around and listened to a eulogy over there for Jimmy Carter today. No. What little of those hideous gears are spinning around in the left-wing liberal?
Well, he's doing a lot of
Biden
stuff.
administration.
We all know that.
What's that?
He's signing the executive orders. What did he do? He
pardon this kid. He
signed an executive order.
He's shut down the possibility of drilling in.
Yes, yeah, he shut all of that down. Yeah, he shut it all down. Yep. Yeah, so those are the crazy things he's doing. But I got a little bit of something coming out of excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I got some live stuff coming out right now here. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to get it up here.
Okay.
Many of the protesters against Israel, who knows, maybe some of the protesters, or even many of the protesters outside this building now. Ladies and gentlemen, King Solomon, who reigned in our eternal capital, Jerusalem, 3,000 years ago, proclaimed something that is familiar to all of you. He said, "There is nothing new under the sun." Well, in an age of space travel, quantum physics, and artificial intelligence, some would argue that's a debatable statement. But one thing is undeniable. There is definitely nothing new at the United Nations.
All right, so there's he's at the United Nations, Israel, PM Netanyahu, UN speech, United Nations live, Israel, Gaza. So, and I apologize for saying it's live. It says September 27th, 2024. But the program says it's a live broadcast. So, apologize.
4 decades later.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be taking that out. Go ahead, B. You were saying before
I'm sorry, I don't remember what it was I was talking about or what I was saying. But yeah. While
we were talking about wildfires being a diversion. Ukraine.
What's going on in Ukraine? What's going on over in Israel? What's going on with the terrorist attacks, domestic terrorist attacks that have been happening here? And you know full well that this ain't over with. And this guy that drove his pickup truck or whatever it was that he'd rented down through Louisiana, you know there's other people just like him, sleepers, waiting to come out and pull the same kind of a stunt or worse.
Right?
Why aren't we hearing anything more about this? Oh, well, there's wildfires. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, look, what's happening is real. You and I are not disagreeing on that. I mean,
absolutely
there are people.
We're not disagreeing.
There are people that are losing everything with these fires.
Yeah. Who started them?
But
Who started the fires?
Well, hey, that could come out, right? That could come out. Yeah.
Just like the second gunman for Kennedy, that came out too. Right.
I'm just saying, man. It's like, every news outlet. I mean, and tonight's evening news. They're like the whole thing. Tuesday night and Wednesday night and last night. I mean, tonight they dedicated like the whole hour or half hour, to the fires, and we don't know. Last thing I heard, Leginsky or whatever his name is, he was like thinking of like, going to talks with the Russians, right?
Who?
The president of Ukraine, B. You're going to try to make me say it again?
All right, yeah, okay. Now I'm having a little problem following along whatever it is you're talking about here, because you go from one thing to another. Okay.
I know I jump sometimes. That's why, Go ahead.
All right, sorry. Now we're caught up. Now I understand. Okay, Craig. Go on. Continue.
I was saying, what do you have to say about that?
What do I have to say about what?
Ukraine, B. How are you not following me? We're talking about the fires. We're talking about it being a diversion.
Well, I can't talk about Ukraine because I haven't heard a damn thing about them.
That's what I was saying. The last time that I believe I heard something about Ukraine, it was the president of Ukraine wanted to have a talk with Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have a computer screen in front of you, right?
At times, yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. I apologize. You have one screen, so you have to drop this in order to put something up.
Yeah. See, that's the thing.
I'm Zelensky, that's his fucking name, isn't it?
Yeah, him too.
Isn't it Zelensky?
Yeah, Zelensky. Yeah.
And you know what's funny? You know what's funny too is that on the movie Tommy Boy, Dan Aykroyd played the character, and his last name was Zelensky, the auto parts guy. I don't know if you ever seen Tommy Boy.
No, never saw it.
Oh, it's hilarious. Something you should watch.
I really didn't care for Chris Farley's.
Really? Wow.
Didn't care for him. Didn't care for the guy there that played Elf. I didn't care for him.
Wow, B. You got a tough sense of humor, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see here. What's going on here? B, talk to the audience. I'm busy.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
Jesus.
Okay, there we are. No, that didn't work, did it? No, of course not.
No, it didn't.
No,
it fucking woke me up, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, tune into the fact, of course, that a good portion of the United States is in sub-freezing weather right now. Even places down in Florida, and I have kinfolk all the way down in Houston, Texas, that told me yesterday morning that it was like 15 or 18 degrees. Terrific. You don't expect these things, that far south, down near the Rio Grande or whatever else they got. Sure enough, it happens. And I never expected to hear something like that, but sure enough, Mother Nature's doing it. What is happening? And at the same time, all the way over to the western coast, they got all of these heat things with the Santa Ana winds that's driving the fires and whatnot. It really is does make you think about the world that we're living in. What do you got coming up over here?
We got a little bit of what's going on here in Ukraine, since you brought it up and stuff. So
I'm Jimmy Greg, so I don't care.
Ukraine is right now launching a counterattack against Russian forces in the border region of Kursk, while one top Ukrainian official says Russia is getting, quote, what it deserves. Ukraine first moved in on the Russian territory in a surprise incursion in August, managing to hold much of the area despite Russian efforts aided by North Korea to drive forces back over the border. Joining us now to discuss, Cedric Layton, retired U.S. Air Force Colonel and CNN military analyst. Great to have you here. Good to see you. Let's just start first generally with your take on the situation as it stands today between Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, Jessica, well, good to be with you. There are a lot of different aspects to this, but the main thing is that the Ukrainians are still consistently moving forward in certain areas, but in other areas, they're kind of giving ground in the east, especially to the Russians. So a lot of the gains that the Russians are making in the east are incremental. But when it comes to what's happening in Kursk, the Russians have not dislodged the Ukrainians from there. And in fact, as you noted, the Ukrainians are engaging in a counteroffensive, which is basically aimed at cleaning out some of the Russian areas and the North Korean areas around the area of Sucha, which is the town that they occupy in that district in Russia, right across the border from them.
And Ukrainian President Zelensky says the Russian army lost up to a battalion of North Korean soldiers who've now joined Moscow's fight and some Russian paratroopers. If that's in fact accurate, how impactful is that sort of defeat?
Well, it could be up to 1,000 soldiers that would be lost in a situation like that. Normal battalion size in the Russian military is somewhere between 600 and 800 soldiers, depending on the type of battalion. So let's cut it in half and say about 500 were lost. That's still somewhat significant in a specific operation. Now, it's not going to change the course of the war by itself. It's also not going to change exactly what the Russian goals are, but it could have a momentum of its own, and actions like this, if the Russians were in fact, and the North Koreans were in fact in a situation where they lost that many people, that could have a significant impact on their ability to carry forth operations in the Kursk area.
And of course, President-elect Trump returning to the White House in just about 2 weeks. He said many times he plans to end the war on day one. I think it's becoming pretty clear that that's going to be almost impossible. But President Zelensky says that Trump's, quote, strength and unpredictability could help bring an end to the war. Where do you think this is going to go?
Well, I think what will happen, Jessica, is that there are going to be efforts made by the new Trump administration to actually end the conflict, at least the hot phase of the conflict. Now, whether or not Russia plays ball is another question. If Russia does not agree to some kind of a ceasefire or at least a cessation of hostilities,
okay, that's what Zelensky said. See, I told you he had said something.
Administration to actually ramp up aid to the Ukrainians.
Sure you wasn't falling asleep? You reading it?
General Kellogg, the special rerepresentative for Ukraine, has made such a statement. So if that does
you asked for it, you don't got no comment.
More pressure on
I'm listening to what he's saying.
End the war, or at least end their participation at the level that they're currently at. So if that happens, that could potentially end things where they are. I don't think Ukraine will be able to regain the territory that it has lost, about 20% or so of its country to the Russians since the February 2022 invasion. But if that is in fact the course of events where there is a ceasefire, we may see a situation kind of like what we're seeing on the Korean Peninsula, where there is a de facto peace, but it is in fact still a state of war. That could be one possible outcome of this. There's a type of ceasefire, or at least an armistice, but no real resolution to the issue, and no movement of troops beyond what we see today.
All right, Colonel said.
Well, it's very predictable that these things. I mean, look what happened back in the 70s or late 70s, 79, whatever it was, when what's his name there? With the chimpanzee there, Reagan. When Reagan was coming in, and the Iranians finally let all the damn hostages go, because Reagan was coming in, and they knew Carter was a putz. He wasn't going to do anything, but Reagan certainly would have. Same thing with Trump. They know Trump means business and will do something, So it would behoove them to get off their ass, settle their differences, settle the scores, and go back home.
I agree, buddy. I agree. But what are you gonna do, man? But we still got to wake up tomorrow. You still got to go polish some pots or whatever. You know what I mean? And the world continues. And we just hope and pray that this madness doesn't somehow, some way, knock on our door.
Yep. And he says President Putin is putting Korean troops in first. He doesn't care if they die. Of course not. Of course not. No. Absolutely. Annie, thank you. Very good.
Yeah, it's a bell for the night for Ann. But it's I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, we're only getting warmed up here on the FFN network. The holidays are over, and B and I are back in full swing. And ladies and gentlemen, look, quick, click that QR code up on the top left of your screen. And again, if you can give a little bit, couple of bucks or whatever, and help Mr. B and Mrs. B out with checking out, make sure Hope's doing a little bit well, right? If you want to tell a story real quick, go ahead.
Yeah, well, we have started her on a regime of prednisone, and so far at this point, it looks like it may be helping her to regain some of her desire, at least to eat. She has been drinking water. She has eaten, not large amounts, but she's eaten a lot more today than she has in the last 3 days. And we hope that this continues, and we need hope for hope. So if you want to click on the QR code that's up over there, it'll take you to the GoFundMe site. If you can, please, by all means, go ahead and make a donation. We genuinely appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm sorry.
Understand it, and thank you very, very much.
Yeah, my boy, he is so passionate about his baby girl. They become part of the family. You know what I mean? So it's not. Yeah. I don't want to. I'm not seeming I'm cutting my boy off, but he'll go. But look, ladies and gentlemen, click the QR, right? And if you don't got it, just share the page. Maybe somebody else could help out with a few bucks. And like I said, they are part of the family. You know what I mean? They truly become, a part of your family. I mean, I got my 3 babies right out there, all 3 of their urines, all 3 of their pictures. You know what I mean? My baby Brady, my baby Joey, and my cat Cuddles. You know what I mean? They're up there. You know what I mean? So they truly become a part of the family, ladies and gentlemen. And with that being said, again, FFN Network is rolling. Don't forget to check out The Way We See It Tuesday nights. New start time, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on the FFN Network. Also, Wednesday nights is Politicking with my boy, Mr. B. We will keep you updated on times of start times for Politicking with Mr. B and the end time. You can check that information out on what's your page, Mr. B?
You can just go to Facebook, look for Jeff Betterini. I'm on Facebook.
Oh, Angry Mug, the Angry Mug page.
The Angry Chicken Mug.
Yeah,
Angry Chicken Mug.
The Angry Chicken Mug, and B will have some of that information up on start times and end times and all of that fun stuff like that. And you can also check that out on the FFN Radio Network Facebook page on Facebook.
Hey, Blaze, do you want to mention we would love to have somebody come and join us and have their own show?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. FFN Network is always has an open door for anybody who wants to start doing your podcast or your talk show or whatever you would like to do. We understand that it's simple and you can go, but the cost lays on FFN Network and to do everything to help you get your voice out there and help FFN Network grow. Thanks for that one, B. I almost forgot about that. With that being said, peace and love to each and every one of you out there. God bless. Be safe, be kind. again, only poor people help poor people. You never see a rich person come down and throw $100 in the the Salvation Army tin. So I don't know where that just came from, but I had to throw that out there.
Okay.
Go ahead, B.
No, I just want to say, stay safe, be watchful, and for God's sake, if you have an opportunity to reach out to somebody, or somebody reaches out to you and they're asking for help, and they may seem distressed or whatever else, if you could do anything, help them out. Because, ladies and gentlemen, suicide is a very big problem. And you may very well be the last stepping stone that could save
someone's life, man, especially veterans. Peace and love, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories or the news that we hear. So my question would be, if they were deceiving you with the stories they tell you, would you be able to?
You have just watched an FFN Network production.